Hey, I'm Tori Torrential. You might know me, you might not. I've been around a long time, like before the Vine days and stuff, and little projects here and there, and helping, edit back when that was hard, and just helping write jokes and little bit parts. I've never really gotten too big, I just kind of exist and create things. Primarily, I'm a like comedy, comfort creator. I do crafty stuff a lot. I like to build things. I'm not good at most of this. I just, you know, um, sometimes I'm funny. A lot of the times I think I'm funny, but you know, I try. I do my best. And, it's just relatable, like nice kind of whatever. And a while back, I finally got free of a lot of the production stuff. I was a ghost producer for a long time, and I was able to claim my own identity finally, basically, and like make like a personal brand. And I was super happy to do it. So I made, I repurposed some accounts. I made, like just a social media presence across a lot of places. And I was like, okay, I'll just focus wherever I'm getting traction, like I throw everything out and see what's stuck. And I didn't do very well on YouTube, which, fair. If people don't like me, that's their prerogative. I'm not demanding things here. I'm just trying to be authentic and put myself out there. But one place that did pick up way more than everywhere else, which I didn't know was obviously a manipulated algorithm, was TikTok. So that was kind of it. I spread some stuff around. TikTok got the biggest bite. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make TikTok stuff. There's actually even a few things posted here and there where I'm like, okay, I guess I'm a TikToker because of the level of engagement that I got. This was probably the worst choice I could have made ever. And I'm going to try to detail why through the rest of this, because it has been a horrible, horrible experience. And I think anybody serious about creating a brand or whatever should be aware of the company they're dealing with and just how much deception and crap I've had to wade through in like about 2 years, to the point where I've had to quit and I'm just starting over on YouTube essentially. Um, the first thing, my reach was really good initially, and then it just went to nothing, and I was stuck in a rut. And it'd be easy to be like, oh, his content's just not that good and stuff, but my followers have consistently, I mean, not so much lately because I kind of stopped putting in the effort once I figured out the game. But, they've been like, why isn't this viral? Why aren't you bigger? And stuff, because I have probably $1,000, if not more, worth of costumes and wigs, and I write my own jokes. I was doing original content material, trying to put together skits. Like, I was really going there, like just making a total buffoon out of myself, trying to get laughs, and I was getting them. Like that's the big distinction. Like, people were cracking up, everybody was having a good time. I made a lot of friends, but it would never go anywhere. Like, none of my videos would ever get big, no matter what. And that's another point in this. But I finally, out of desperation, I just paid for a promotion, and it went big. Like about 10,000 people saw it, which I know YouTube numbers, that's like whatever, but on TikTok, for me struggling, that was huge, right? But they overcharged me for using an iPhone, which that's really not cool. Then they showed my video exclusively to minors, you know, on top of it, which, like, if you ever pay for a promotion on TikTok, if you don't explicitly exclude minors, they're showing it strictly to 13-year-olds, regardless of the context. It doesn't matter if, like, it's about, you know, jobs or, you know, how hard work is or anything. Like, the majority share of the people seeing your video are going to be like 13-year-olds who probably should be parented more. Just so you know. But then they canceled my promotion the second I was getting it. You know, like, after they spent 95% of the budget, they canceled the promotion and then said the video was unpromotable from then on because it had a cuss word in it, which that was a new thing at the time. And, you know, it got cleared for promotion and they spent most of the money, but then they stuck the rest of the money in the balance, and there's no way to refund that money, you know? So, like, I'd have to pay more money because they sell them in little brackets where you have to spend more money in order to, you know, spend a promotion and stuff. Otherwise, they just keep your money. And that happened. And, you know, they sold me false goods. They hurt my account. They took my money. And I made videos about all this, you know, during the time. I never once got a human interaction from any of it. And it never got resolved as well. Like, they basically just lied to me, blew my money, and got rid of it. But, you know, I was in it to win it. So I just kept making content, and that came to kind of the first thing, because the way TikTok enforces rules, and I think this biased them against me, like me exposing all of that, is completely arbitrary. You have people out there literally using hate speech and being proponents of just the most monstrous stuff, and they get away with it. And then you say, like, someone's being a dick, and you have a strike on your account, which wouldn't be a problem, except there's a lot of creators on TikTok that are entirely parasitic. Like, they just co-opt struggles of other people. All their content is literally just attacking other people. Like, when you look, it's all video responses of them, like, trying to talk down to people for whatever. And they don't contribute humor or anything else. They literally just sit there and attack people, and then they form packs and, like, kind of group attack people. And it's like anyone who says any buzzword they can jump on, because they can't make content, you know, they have no talent. And these people are a plague, right? So they're like, the first time I was attacked, and I'm not trying to make it about the individual fights, but they tried to paint me as, like, racist, sexist, a bunch of other stuff, just because I'm actually an abuse survivor. And they were like, oh, blah, 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 you know, like, yes, all men. And whether or not you agree with it, I was just like, all sexism is wrong. No one deserves abuse. That's all I said, you know. And I've reiterated that multiple times. Because of that one thing, it was a week and a half. There was over 50 people attacking me, because they jump on their little Discords and they're like, oh, I can't believe this, you know. And they went at me. They mass reported my account. I got multiple strikes. There was people making videos saying blatant lies about me, to the point that I made a video, and it's been up for a year and a half, actually, at this point, just saying, like, if I've ever been racist to you, or I've pushed you to do something, you know, sexual, including like send nudes or whatever, respond with the evidence here, and, you know, call me out, because I don't do those things. And in a year and a half, no one has ever called me out with evidence, because I'm just not that person, you know. Like, I don't do any of these things. We jokingly call it the Torfax, and mine is flawless, you know. So all of this is baseless. That's why I don't mind bringing it up now, because I know they're trying to like put that like whispers in the air and stuff, but in the face of it, like, everyone who's been around me for a prolonged period of time has been like, he's not like that, you know. And there's hard evidence that I haven't done anything like that, you know. Anyway, this all goes down. I have multiple strikes. They're slandering me, like they're calling me racist, which I'm white Hispanic, which they just ignored. You know, they're saying I'm a danger to women despite no evidence. And, you know, like, all these slanderous, really bad things, and TikTok is not enforcing anything against them whatsoever. They're just letting them call me all these names, letting me get dragged through the mud. And they're stacking up these violations on my account. I'm not getting a single, you know, appeal for anything. They're not enforcing a single report, you know, for all this. That, like, and, you know, they're calling me like names and stuff. This is not fact-based arguing, you know. They're directly being insulting and just blatantly lying without evidence. But that whole nightmare happens, and I get stressed out. But, you know, I just keep pushing, and believe it or not, Gen Z gets involved in a major way. I ended up picking up about 2,000-3,000 followers that were kind of LGBTQ, you know, and stuff, because I came out, you know, in support of them during a few things. There's, you know, the If You Need a Dad program and stuff, where you just give like dad advice and, you know, like, support if someone needs it and they got disowned or whatever. It's really wholesome, you know. And there's kind of barriers, you know, but it's like, you know, you just tell them how to fix their brakes, or, you know, that you're proud of them for graduating college. That, you know, basic human compassion things. But because of that, a couple of them heard that they were ignoring that I was an abuse survivor and attacking me and stuff, and they just descended on them, right, to the point where at least that little Discord group of attack activists essentially ran away. Like, they just started deleting comments and stuff. A lot of those hurtful videos are still up because TikTok has never really defended me. But, you know, that whole thing went down, and those biases, and after that, my numbers were terrible, you know, because they never removed the strikes, no matter what. Like, I'd write them emails, I'd tell them, I'd be like, look, this is bad faith, like, this is harmful, this could prevent me from getting jobs, and they just let it happen, you know, basically. And that's so frustrating. But anyway, you know, like, all through all of these attacks, like, I never really lost people or anything, because I was around and people knew who I was, you know. Like, I walk the walk every day. So it's like some rando, you know, being like, oh, well, actually, he's a monster. You know, like, everybody who's been around for like a year is like, you know, I talk to this guy every day. He's not a monster. But that doesn't matter to the algorithm, right? So I double down. I try to make even better content, you know, just making jokes, jumping around, you know, basic like Monty Python walk and hug stuff, you know, putting on a big spectacle. And again, everybody's like, this stuff is great. Why aren't you bigger? Why aren't you getting any reach? And the whole time it's because there's like bad faith actors in the background trying to report stuff and spiking all my videos, like doing the not interested and making sure I never have reach on top of these strikes from these, you know, parasites basically. And that like continually happens. And I'm over here saying like, okay, my numbers are not adding up. Like with my interaction and my watch times, I am not getting the views that I need to be getting, you know, like, well, that I earned essentially. And that's when this next altercation happens, because this goes on for months. And there's a few key players, we'll call them scumbags. I'm not giving any specific names because I hope you all die in obscurity. But there's certain other types of TikTok creators that just steal material, like they steal your jokes and stuff, keep making things that are kind of close. And you know, they got big back in the day, and now like they're not growing at all, so they just prey on people and be scumbaggy, and they're ruthless. A lot of bigger creators, because I've been doing this for a long time, you know, like I had to help do it professionally and stuff, like 10 and 15. There's some people who deserve to be there just on merit of their talent, or, you know, like they have a really nice personality, but a large portion of larger creators are there because they are ruthless. Okay, like that's all they care about is numbers. They'll backstab, they'll throw people under the bus, they do anything to protect their like ego or their image. And I mean, it's bad, it's like an epidemic. And some of them, you know, had come in on a little bit of a train of me getting a little more popular and stuff. I did like a birthday thing the last year, and it was just like a duet train, but it blew up enough that some of these people rode in on it and started, you know, stealing my jokes and whatever, pretending to be like a fake friend. But the entire time they were like gaslighting me, saying like, no, you just need to make better stuff and blah blah blah, and like basically saying they're better than me, and that I didn't know how the algorithm worked. And so, which for background, I'd like, part of being a ghost producer is being a social media manager, like especially if you're creating an artist from nothing. So I did this professionally, you know, for a long time. I've had 2 other TikTok accounts before this. They were anonymous at the time, and I had to delete them because of business stuff. I was told to delete them by employers, even with me being anonymous. But like, you know, there were over 100,000 followers. So I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to spot algorithm changes. I have pattern-based OCD. Okay, so like even without me hard confirming, which I did, you know, I could tell everything was off, and most other people could tell, you know, like, it's important to note most of my followers were like, when I'd say this stuff, they were like, yes, this makes sense, you know, but they were sitting there, you know, telling me I didn't know what I was talking about and I'm just not good enough and blah, 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 because they want to feel like they're better than me, you know, because their numbers are bigger or whatever. But that's when the whole thing broke about TikTok artificially heating accounts and suppressing other ones. And TikTok themselves even admitted that they were doing this, and basically the entire thing was rigged, which I had been saying, you know, for like 6-7 months. I mean, they directly confirmed everything I was saying, and everything that these pieces of crap were gaslighting me, saying I was wrong about and talking down to me like I was stupid. So I made a video. I didn't call out anybody specifically, but I made a video, you know, and I was like, all you people are, you know, wrong, and you are wrong for this, and that was crap, and whatever. And most of them curiously didn't say anything, and a couple of them started treating me a little hostile, but one real scummy, like just rat-faced bastard, you know, went in and tried to do it again. You know, he tried to like gaslight me about gaslighting me. And I pushed back a little bit. I was just like, well, maybe don't gaslight people and, you know, make a false narrative. So he, you know, after just using me for like months and being the crappiest person imaginable, like makes this attack video, but he like ended blocking me, so I didn't see it right away, and like said all this false stuff again, you know, about like me not caring about followers and only caring about money, which I have pattern-based OCD, you know, and whatever. So like I responded, and I pointed out like every way he had mistreated me the entire time, since we're both, you know, apparently well, to show the difference in how I treated my followers and how he treated his. And you know, like I went through everything I had done for that guy, and then everything he had done back that was bad. And of course, he responded to that somehow. Like he got around the block. All of a sudden, my account's on like URL bird or whatever and stuff, so they could like download my videos and respond to them and stuff. Like really just trashed my views and stuff, to again, because they're ruthless pieces of crap. And he like weaponizes, because his platform's like 5 times bigger than mine at this point. And yeah, he weaponizes his entire platform against me and just starts saying blatant lies, you know, about me and about what he did and about stuff, to the point where there's people like in his comments saying they're going to attack me and they're going to screw up my account. And you know, people start like impersonating me and trying to ask followers for money. I end up having to pay out like 60-80 bucks because a couple of people got scammed by fake me's, you know, and I'm getting mass reported everywhere, all of this stuff. Again, nobody defends me. Like all the reports come back, no violation, you know. And like there's just a really common theme of this is TikTok being biased against me and never stepping in to defend me, letting anybody say what they want. And if I respond at all, I get hit by a strike, right? So like, you know, and this is important because before this, I put myself in for verification, not because I think that I'm a big deal, but I have worked with, you know, real artists and bigger names. And one of the reasons why I have a Facebook account, which I only have a personal Facebook account, I'm not actually on Facebook, you know, as Tori Torrential, but was, you know, people were pretending to be me to get, you know, like beats off people, and they were trying to get like unreleased demos and things, because I'm in that sphere of trust, you know what I mean, where people be like, oh yeah, I know him, he's a ghost producer, da da da. And then sometimes, you know, I'll get sent like a rough version of a song for an idea, or just something normal people shouldn't have, you know what I mean, that you gotta kind of keep on the low and not keep around, that kind of thing. So like I do get impersonated, and sometimes people try to use that to get like privileged stuff. So I was like, you know, I explained that situation to TikTok, and they're like, oh, well, you're too small time, whatever, and they kick it back. And then I get invited to get verified, right? And I know it's because someone got scammed pretending to be me, you know? So I go through all this stuff. I let TikTok completely dox me. I give them, you know, like a picture of my degree, you know, saying that I'm a master of production and stuff. I went to Berkeley. My driver's license, all that stuff, right? And it's kind of funny because at first they were like, well, there's nothing if you Google your name and blah blah blah, and it's like, I'm a ghost producer, dude. I get paid not to exist, you know, like I actively pay firms to delete things about me, you know, to make sure, because at the time, like, I'm not doing it now. I kind of retired. It's a whole long story, but you know, it's like, how good is a ghost producer that gets outed? You know what I mean? Like, you're not making any money at that point. But anyway, they go through all of this and then they still deny me. Like, they request the stuff. I give them the info and stuff because I guess they were trying to confirm I was real instead of one of the scammers. And then they denied me. They still didn't give me the verification check mark or anything, which came back to bite me because I specifically, you know, tried to take steps to not be impersonated and get verified so this exactly wouldn't happen. And then you know, on the wings of this attack, people are impersonating me and taking my followers for money to the point that I have to pay out of pocket because TikTok refused, you know, to preventatively do this stuff. Anyway, so after that, my numbers are even worse. Like, I'm continually getting hounded and stuff because now, you know, I'm in the little troll Discord servers, and you know how they work, like they attack in tandem and stuff. And there's this really nasty technique on TikTok where you can, like, not interested videos, you know, like you can subscribe to somebody and get notifications without being a follower, and then you can silently just not interested as soon as their video starts, so they get like 5 views and then it just tanks, you know, because that kills it in the algorithm. And I didn't even know this existed. Like, my 14-year-old neighbor told me about it. She was like, oh yeah, you're getting mean girled, you know. But anyway, that's happening nonstop. I can't do whatever, but I keep just trying to make content and focus on, like, spreading happiness and joy, because the people that are around are pretty cool. You know, I will give them that. Like, most of my followers are really cool people and they're awesome. So, you know, like, at this point, I'm basically sticking around for them, you know, because they've stuck with me and they genuinely enjoy my stuff and we have fun, you know. So I'm still just trying, just like 100 views at a time, just putting the work in, you know. And at this point, like, I stopped buying costumes and props and stuff because it's becoming apparent. But, you know, like, this entire time I'm not making any money, you know. And so I'm doing all this at a loss, and I claw my way up there. Like, I hit 10,000 followers, you know, which is like the mark for you know, joining the creator fund and all of that stuff, which I'm already an independent contractor, so, you know, there's no real tax problems for me. Because if in the beginning, like, if you're not and you have like a normal income job, if you sign up for the creator fund or whatever, you need to be getting like about 10 million views, you know, in order to even cover the filing fee for the taxes, because it costs you, like, you know, about $200 to file your 1099 taxes. So, like, if you sign up and you're not, and you only get about $20, you know, for 1 million views on TikTok. So if you're not making at least 200, you're actually losing money, you know, to the government, essentially. But anyway, you know, for me, I already had to pay the filing fee and stuff, so it's all whatever. So I put in, to join the fund finally and all this. And in the face of all this crap, I'm saying, like, look, these numbers are screwed. I'm being messed with. I'm begging TikTok, like, just in videos and stuff. I'm like, can someone look into this? Because I know it's the same consistent people. Like, I'm being targeted by harassment and stuff. I'm just trying to create here. And nothing. I never get a human response from TikTok to date, right? And I'm still being freaking suppressed and stuff. And it's important to know, at this point, I have over 6,000 TikToks, like, in almost 2 years. Like, I was working hard, dude. And most of that wasn't filler. Like, it was jokes, it was bits. Like, I'm, going like as hard as I can. And then, after I start realizing how rigged it is, like, I'm still adding value though. And none of this is helping, And what TikTok does is it doxes me again and gets my social and like all this stuff for tax purposes. And the entire time I'm waiting, it takes, because you have to have like a minimum like 100,000 views and all this, you got to do backflips to get into that thing. Basically the entire time it's busted. Like, it's like, oh, an error occurred every time I go, after the final thing, after they get all my personal information and whatnot. I absolutely cannot get them to add me to the fund, and the app just keeps erroring out mysteriously and hanging, and it won't approve it even though I meet all the criteria. This goes on for literally a month, and then the 1 second like mine dips underneath, I get this thing back like, oh, well, you don't meet the minimum criteria. So they held on to it and waited a month for me to dip under the bar, and then we're like, oh, you don't qualify. Okay, so at this point we have them stealing promotion money, misusing my promotion money, overcharging the promotion money, letting people slander me, asymmetrically enforcing rules to bias me, suppressing my views, enabling attacks on me, and they're stopping anything from my end. Like these people are literally trashing my name, saying damaging things and stuff. And if I'm like, that's not true, these people are horrible, I should probably sue this person for slander or whatever, I get a violation for saying that, but they get nothing for saying these things about me. And like, it just keeps going on, like to the point where my entire following, it's a running joke about how suppressed I am by TikTok and how blatantly my numbers are different than everyone else's. Like, this is to the point. It's not just me sitting there like, oh, they're picking on me or whatever, or I'm not good enough. Because, like, I know I'm not the best, but I actually, I get a laugh or two and stuff. Like, so it's not me being delusional, like, oh, I should have 1 million followers and stuff. It's like, it's more like, if I have 70 likes and I only have 100 views, something is wrong. You know what I mean? Like 70% of people that saw this liked this, and I got 100 views for it, but we're talking that level. And anyway, so we're going, and sorry, I went on a tangent. Okay, so that happens, and they drop me out. And at this point, I'm so defeatist, because I'm thinking like, man, I was finally going to start getting a little bit of a return on my stuff, right? And one thing about me is I advocate a lot for everybody. Like, if there's a problematic trend, I jump on it. You know, if it's being sexist against women, I try to flip the trend. If it's against trans people, I try to, because basically I've always been about universal compassion. And the one thing is, if I ever stick up for men, ever, this is what happens. You know, like it happened before, that week and a half attack and stuff. And I barely advocate for men. Like, it's about 20 to 1, you know, because they will just sit there and there's like these misandrists, you know, pretending that they're feminists, co-opting the struggle. And this happens again, you know, because there's a thing and I'm like, this sounds sexist. The women in this sound are sexist, period. You know, that's all I said. When people try to come at me, you know, I'm like, no, all sexism is wrong. Okay. I've repeated that the entire time, you know, like, all sexism is wrong and stuff. And they're trying to like make it systemic and all this BS and, you know, add all these things and put words into my mouth to the point where it explodes, right? There's people saying I'm a danger to women. There's people calling me a human piece of garbage, like all those little parasitical, like rainbow-haired performative dudes and stuff, you know, are like damning me in comments for things I didn't even say, because, you know, I got protracted, like I got attacked for literally 70 hours straight. And then after like that Discord attack, because they were all saying the same thing, trying to flip the same narratives, making the same attack videos, like it was a concerted effort to take me down. That one crappy dude, you know, from before, that weaponized his attack, he actually unbanned me, which I rebanned him immediately, but liked the one video just to like sign his work. You know what I mean? Because they were stoking the fires just to come at me. And there's like 50 people mass reporting me and attacking me, calling me all sorts of things I'm not, you know, in the face of the evidence. And I'm fighting this time, you know, because normally like you just kind of take it and move on. But it was just that day. It was the day after my 40th birthday. And I was just like, no, screw these people. Like, I'm not going out like that. So I was sitting there and I didn't attack anyone back because, like, I'm not inherently nasty or anything. I was just debating the points and telling them why they were wrong, you know, the entire time. Like, I actually pointed out, I never, you know, just insulted anyone or attacked anyone or resorted to sexism or anything. Like, most of it's still up. You can check it. But I was just pointing out that they're sexist, how they're sexist, you know, how this is problematic thinking, who they actually are. Because, see, at first, I think, like, I just maybe upset people and they were trying to gaslight me, like, well, if this many people say something, maybe you're wrong. And then, you know, I look on my other account and I see all these same people in these, like, dog whistle videos in the comments talking about, oh, yeah, he wasn't trying to listen, so I just screwed with him for hours, you know? And, like, bragging about just being actual trolls and attacking every single one of those reports. Like, the ones calling me human shit and stuff came back, no violation. TikTok never once, like, defended me. They just let all of that go, you know. Meanwhile, I stack up so many strikes from these people going through and chain reporting every single video, just trying to get stuff to stick, that I almost get banned like multiple times. And I write, you know, and I'm like, these people are targeting me. This big creator dog whistled. You know, there's massive amounts of crap. And I'm, you know, like, my normal followers are sitting there telling these people, like, dude, he's not sexist. He's not a danger to women. He's not, none of this is true. You know, like, because there's people literally being like, I've talked to this guy for 1.5 years and he's never done anything. And they start, like, actually abusing the abused women that I talk to, you know, like, just because, you know, they're not about any particular cause. They're literally just co-opting struggles and being narcissists and trying to prey on people. So I ended up judo moving them because it got revealed that I've actually done extensive charity work and, you know, sent millions of dollars to fund like abuse shelters and stuff. Sorry, I have COPD and I'm getting whatever. But yeah, like to abuse shelters and, you know, like different kinds of research and stuff. And it turns out like they picked the wrong one. You know what I mean? Because like I even had my mom saying at one point, you know, on there, yeah, it's been about $6 million, which sounds unbelievable, but you got to remember, I'm like 40. I've been doing this for 22 years, you know, so it's really not that much, you know, if you look in the context of like fundraising and events and everything, you know, parsed or whatever. And yeah, you know, like if you do it a couple of times a year, like I have been, and you're like a master producer, so you can help with events and get like portions of proceeds, you know, sent over to like RAINN and stuff, you know, it adds up. But anyway, like that starts going. And then what I do is I make a video and I'm like, I just donated $50 to RAINN. If you want to talk about me because you're trying to get views and stuff off the backs of abused women, I'm going to RAINN tax you, and you have to donate $50 to RAINN. Otherwise, you're a fake and you're not about anything, you know? And it all instantly stops when I do this. No one donates, you know, because I knew they didn't care about this. They didn't care about the cause or nothing. All they cared about was getting those views and trying to get that like 5 cents off the little you know, rage farm that they were trying to make at my expense. So as soon as I made them do something actual, like in the real world, that actually helped the people they're quote unquote advocating for, everyone punked out, dried out, and it leaves, right? Meanwhile, TikTok, that like there's so many people writing emails and stuff, because literally there's as many people like in my followers list, like why are they letting people pick on you this bad? And so there's one TikTok where I literally list like factually like 60 names I have been called, you know, and that TikTok has not enforced any violations on, you know, including like human garbage and a danger to women and a murderer and all this stuff. And, you know, like everyone's seeing it at this point, because there's like 10,000 people sitting here who have been with me that are like, why is this allowed? Why is this okay? You know, and the entire time, like, I'm still just universal compassion guy. I'm like, no one deserves sexism. No one deserves abuse, you know, and they're going in, man, because it's a dog whistle attack. There's people like trying to refute, and they're actively attacking the women and like survivors and stuff that I've helped. You know, they're like, not that I went to school for cognitive science, and so I don't claim any kind of mental health stuff or whatever. But, you know, like I'm the type of creator where if you're having a really bad night and you need to talk, like I'll try to talk with you, you know, and just through that, I've connected with certain people and that kind of thing, you know, like I'm a very safe space, essentially. And, you know, a lot of people were saying that. They were just like, this is utter crap. Like, you guys are witch hunting. He's the wrong guy, you know? But anyway, so like that finally cools down. And then today, like 3 weeks later, because what happens is all my reports vanish, you know, from these activists attacking me and stuff. And I think I'm back in good standing because they got me demonetized and I got locked out of everything, you know, because they pushed my account into bad standing, and that gets wiped. Like there's nothing on the thing because I have all these screenshots, and my dumbass deletes all my screenshots and documentation of this because I think, okay, TikTok finally defended me. They finally did something right. Okay. Then I get one person like 3 weeks later, which after 3 weeks, there's no way that video was on the algorithm, and they stopped sharing all the videos from that particular moment in time. Since then, I've literally been making the most boring content ever, like just talking about, like lapidary stuff and me trying to make homebrew machines. And I've barely even been making jokes just because I'm trying to like walk real soft and start over fresh and let it die, like give it time to really die. I said, okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm only responding with rain tax, hashtag rain tax. You gotta, support women's shelters if you want to fight with me. And I'm just basically trying to move on. Well, I make a video saying like, hey, look, it looks like TikTok actually stepped up and fixed this. So I wanted to report that, because I've been decrying that they weren't doing anything and letting all this happen and whatnot. And there's like, whatever, but my numbers aren't good. They still they don't snap back like they should be or anything. But I figure like maybe they just reset me in the algorithm completely, which sucks. But, I'm thinking that. Turns out, no, I get another one of these fake, attack dogs reports something and instantly my account's in warning, right? And I'm like, what the hell? And then I realized they didn't actually remove any of the strikes or anything. They just hid them so I couldn't see them. And then another one comes in, and again, I don't get the appeal, nothing. It gets stacked on me to the point where now my account's permanently in bad standing. And I can't even continue on. So after 2 years of solely just providing comedy and comfort, not really causing trouble or attacking anyone, and spreading joy and compassion and trying to advocate for people and stuff, it's all fucking useless because 20 people with the Discord total attacked me, and TikTok has routinely been biased against me and stopped me from ever being able to grow. And this was finally, the event horizon for me, because I, at this point, I have no options for branding or nothing, because it's stuck in bad standing, and it will be for 6 months, and they're just continually ignoring. And instead of actually doing anything or symmetrically enforcing anything or not being biased towards me, they just lied to me, and straight up deceived me the same way they've been doing the entire time. So if you're considering trying to extend your brand to TikTok, one thing, this is all confirmable. There might be a lost wages lawsuit at some point. I might have receipts for some of it. I deleted a lot of it, stupidly, thinking, the corporation wouldn't flat out lie to me like that. But I guarantee you there's an internal email or two that will eventually surface that is going to get me a paycheck. Anyway, but yeah, we have they overcharged me for the promotions. They misused my promotion money. They locked away the money, in a way I couldn't retrieve it. They sold me a bad bill of goods. They intentionally misused the money not to help me. The entire time they were suppressing my views, so I had to try to pay for promotions. They suppressed my views artificially most of my TikTok career and stuff. This was never made right. They let people slander me and asymmetrically enforce the community guidelines repeatedly against me. They never once defended me and always stuck me with the strikes on my account. Yeah, they let people weaponize against me. They doxed me twice to no end and no benefit. uh, they allowed people, like enabled people to impersonate me when I took steps to prevent that. Um, yeah, they denied me getting into the creator fund by dragging their feet and stuff in bad faith for like the month until they could say I didn't qualify. Nothing worked until that point happened, and then it worked, just to tell me no. Um, and the entire time they were artificially like heating and suppressing people, so the entire game was rigged. The entire time they basically ate 2 years of my life, about 7,000 videos worth of material, most of which was original content and jokes. I invested thousands of dollars in equipment and costumes and props, to try to fix the situation, and at no point were they ever acting in good faith. So, keep that in mind when you think of TikTok, because that's the kind of place it is. Meanwhile, there's like hate accounts literally saying like trans people are monsters and will like kill kids, and white supremacists, gnome hunting, talking about the eradication of minorities, and instead of them being violated and getting taken off the platform, it was me saying that people are making slanderous lies. Just to give you an idea of how biased this all is happening. But yeah, that's kind of my story. I know most people probably aren't going to care or see it, but I just had to tell my truth to somebody. And if I'm around a lot more on YouTube, that's why, because I have just completely lost confidence in TikTok as a company. They have massively mistreated me. I don't really know that I have any options to do anything about it, but I was used, I was lied to, I was completely deceived, tricked out of money. They basically enabled massive amounts of slander against me, and they ate up a big portion of my life that I will never get back on bad faith. So, just beware. Like, if you want to use TikTok for fun or whatever, like, I get it. But if you have any aspirations of anything professional, this is the most pathetic, unprofessional company I have ever worked with. And they have done me incredibly wrong. And I if you notice, I know there's nothing I can really do, like I'm not asking for anything from TikTok or whatever. I'm just making this one video as a warning to other creators that maybe pick somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, it's harder to grow on YouTube or whatever, but I haven't seen any kind of, screwed up stuff on YouTube comparatively. Like, yeah, it's harder to grow and people are meaner in general, but like, at least YouTube's like kind of transparent and tells you why you're not working, or like, you don't have to guess. Like, TikTok, I still have not had a human interaction through all of this. Like, they're always like a step away, and they've just mistreated me nonstop, and it's dream crushing sometimes, like, because like all of those times, like, I didn't know these things, like I suspected them strong, so like you have to sit there and doubt yourself and think like, maybe I'm bad on camera, maybe people hate me, maybe I'm not making like good stuff, and that's when you're actually really trying, that is psychologically damaging, to like sit there, because I know like some of it's variable, but like when you make something and people genuinely love it and then it just doesn't, like, you don't get what you earned from that, it's horrible, you know, and it can be soul crushing. Like there's times like I got reduced to like crying just out of sheer frustration from trying like as hard as I was, and just nothing happening because of like, you know, maybe 20 fucking dicks that TikTok just let destroy me, you know, like in the algorithm. And you know what I mean? Like that system should, the entire system needs to be reformed, you know. And in my particular case, there's multiple people who are like, yeah, even other people don't get treated as bad as you. Like they had it out for you. And if I ever get my hands on like some kind of internal thing where I can prove that, you should know, I'm going to sue TikTok so hard, just so it doesn't happen to anybody else ever again. And that's kind of the spirit this video is in. Just if you're currently on TikTok and you have those suspicions, that crap goes down and it's there. Okay, do not trust TikTok at any point as an entity whatsoever. They use lies, deceit, trickery. They refuse to talk to anyone, and it's horrible. It's horrible. So you might be a better creator than you are. You know, you might need to work on it or whatever, but the main takeaway, if I had one point that you took away, it would be, don't work on it on TikTok. Go to a different platform, because TikTok is completely rigged and disingenuous, and you cannot get quality feedback on anything you do there. It's entirely gamified just to keep you trying and keep you down as low as they can. Unless you're like one of those big creators, you know, that they're trying to artificially tilt the game for to get you on, or like a celebrity or something, or you have like a major studio backing to try to, you know, push you in front of kids or whatever. But yeah, they're utter garbage, and I'm never gonna get the 2 years of my life back. Most of that material is burned now, and I guess we're just gonna have to try to rebuild a new on here. Anyway, I'm Tori Torrential. I'm a comedy comfort creator. I do kind of crafts. I mean well, and you know, I'm hoping to build a little bit on YouTube, and I'm gonna try to do that by creating value and making things that people like and enjoy. Actually working really hard, and hopefully it'll pay off.